That's me in the very beginning. Now I am a baby and getting zoomed from my mom to my birthday. I don't remember a lot about my younger life, but I remember it was fun and I felt so safe. My mom and dad always happy. I guess my mom's sister was mad that my dad was so great, so she called the police and said he hit my mom. We were all reading and they came. I heard my dad yelling, "There, no way!" My mom was crying loudly. Some lady took us away. The court said my parents abused and neglected us. They only loved us. The caseworker lied. I never saw my parents again. I'm still hoping one day they come. I am a victim of CPS and so are my parents. We need to find justice in all of this madness for all of us that are being abused. It's not fair. Every kid I know has a mom and dad. I know they miss me. I bet they fight every day for me to come home.
Don't get caught like us. Know your rights.
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Welcome to CPS Victims Hunting Justice. I am your host, the CPS Punisher. Advocates, right? That's what that's the word that you keep hearing is advocates and advocates and advocates, right? But we don't know what an advocate is. We don't know who they are, or what they do, right? Everybody just hears the word and everybody's just throwing this term around. There's a proper way to do things. There's a proper procedure for them to do things. You can't just be an advocate, right? There's a lot of stipulations, there's a lot of standards, there's a lot of rules, regulations. Each state has their own thing that carries them in this way, but advocates are a good thing to have. Advocates are meant to be there to help us in lieu of an attorney. Their purpose is different from that of an attorney. They more or less are there to make sure that the courts are doing their jobs right, making sure that they are like court watchers. They're watching regulations. They're just paying attention to what's going on, and they're trying to help you with little bits and pieces and points. So tonight we're going to examine that a little bit more. Let me bring in Melissa, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring in Cheryl right now too, our advocate herself. Cheryl, Melissa, how are you ladies doing tonight?
Doing fine.
Hey Darren,
Right.
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
We're doing all right. Hey Melissa, nice show earlier. I liked that. You did a great job earlier.
Well, I would have done a lot better with the show if my internet wouldn't have died.
Yeah, well, you know what? We can't have everything, right? We can have
Yeah.
a little bit. Don't get greedy. Don't be greedy, Melissa.
Well, but it's got to be all about me. Come on now.
That's why the internet that save some for later.
Right. Oh man. All right, Cheryl. National Action Network, right? Middle Tennessee is yours, correct?
Right.
We'll put that up there, the web address and everything. But do you want to go ahead and just give everybody like a little rundown again of what you do and what your role is and how you've come to us
Yeah.
or we've come to you?
So I'm the president of Middle Tennessee National Action Network, and I advocate for civil rights, human rights, and people rights. And to advocate for people is to let them know that I'm your support. If you feeling like you can't do it or you're needing somebody to help you understand what's going on, that's how we advocate for people. When they have their attorneys and the attorney is not doing them right, then we advocate for them to look. We could go in and we can talk with the person and their attorneys and say, why don't you do it this way? Why don't you ask these questions? Why don't you? So that's how you're advocating for the victim. You're advocating for people to let them know what the law says. And we're not attorneys. I'm by no means an attorney. I don't have no license or anything, but I know when someone is being treated wrong.
Right.
And I don't have to have license to tell me that you can't do this. And if everybody, and I want everybody to understand this, just because you gave birth to a child, that don't make that child. You have to go get those legal papers to make sure, even if you're married, you still go get custody. You get custody and the father get custody. That means both of you all have custody of that child. If you're by yourself, you go get your custody when nothing is happening, nothing is going wrong. And if you know you in these streets and you know you doing wrong and you know you have children, go get somebody to be a co-parenting and get on that docket to be that person's legal authority with you. So if something happened, you already have somebody in place to get your children. We have to figure out ways to get DCFS out of our house.
So what do you mean by go get custody? You saying that like, so we have a birth certificate and everything, but legally us as biological parents don't have the legal, we don't have the legal stuff to be the actual whatever, like you're saying?
So if you was married and you and your wife had a dispute and it got so bad that somebody has to leave, who gonna leave with the child? You don't have custody and she don't have custody. So now you got to go to court and fight about it. Then the judge will say, well, whoever has the child is who's gonna have the child until we figure out where the child needs to be. So if you go and say, well, I want to go and get custody of my child and you get custody of your child, now it's on paper that both of you all have joint custody. Now, if it's a problem, an argument or something, now all you have to figure out is how we're going to split up these visitations and all of that. I have a case right now with a young lady that had her child and she was going to the service and she didn't make it to the service, but she had to sign custody over to the child's father because that's the rules in the military, that you have to give custody to your child in case something happened and you're not there and somebody can speak for the kid. And so she did that in 2018. And when she did that, she didn't go and she didn't think about going back and change those papers because both of them went to the court and did it. But then he started abusing her. He started doing all kinds of stuff to her. And so she got away from him. And in 2020, she went and got custody. And because the judge had her to try 3 times to go and get, serve him the papers to be in court 3 times. And it was unsuccessful. So the judge granted her full and sole custody and said that it's up to her to figure out what they can do with visitation. And so she let him see her and he took the child and 2.5 years. And so when she had the custody though, but then all of this stuff has happened. And he came back and said, I can't take care of her no longer. I need somebody to help me with her. He took her to the grandmother and he disappeared. So now from May, June, July, August, they didn't hear from him, nothing. And then in August, he was trying to call to see how she was doing. Because there was no response, he gets upset, and he take those 2018 papers and take them to the courts, and then he gets ex parte and emergency custody of the child. And then he did a big old thing here in Tennessee. He went and told him he had custody. The mother kidnapped the child, and he wanted his child back because she's not in school. And he took that and he ran with it. And they put the mother had a felony warrant for her. They she disappeared, and they found her, and now she's sitting in jail awaiting court. And it's bad. And it's because we get so relaxed on not looking and paying attention to the law that anything and everything happens.
Right, and it's not even so much looking and pay attention to the law, it's letting them overrun us with their rules and regulations and all of these things that aren't necessarily meant to be portrayed on us. But we're allowing them to do it. We're just allowing them to steamroll us through our rights because we're too afraid to stand up. We're not doing enough. We're not saying no. We're signing contracts without being. I mean, listen. Right, when CPS comes in, we just immediately sign these safety plans because we're scared that they're going to take our kid. What did we just sign? This is this paper that this lady with a badge that showed up in a government car says sign here, and it's pertaining to our children. And we're okay, sure, sign right away. We're not looking at this stuff. We're not paying attention to what's on there. You're just looking out of the fear of God for the, like you're going to hope that these people are decent people and good people.
First,
in reality, that safety plan is nothing more than contracting your kid to them. That's it.
First of all, no one has the right to come here. DCS will never come into your house unless you invite them in. Once you invite them in, it's over. It's over. Second of all, I ain't signing nothing but a paycheck. If it don't have dollar signs behind it, I ain't signing it. Now, you can do whatever you want to do, but you won't have my signature doing it. You know what I'm not signing nothing, especially if I don't understand it. Meet me downtown with my attorney. If you want to talk to me, meet me downtown. That's all I have to say. Meet me downtown. You don't sign nothing.
Oh.
I asked the question before. Are we having children and the government owns them and we're just the babysitters? That's food for thought.
I mean,
well, kind of.
Well, they have that document, supposedly, that parents patris. Is that what it is? The ones that's the one.
Oh, parents patre.
Yeah, they have that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's to protect the voiceless. It's a constitutional doctrine, but it even lays out right in that doctrine, and that's actually one I'm very familiar with because if you remember, Darren, I wrote a whole motion ending in a void ab initio, and I used the parents patre doctrine to not only show what they were supposed to do, but how they violated it at every front.
Right.
I literally went step by step that the parents patre doctrine on step 1 says you must meet this ground for it to be valid. Step 2 says that, they must do this, and this is the purpose for it. And then I laid out each and every violation of how they violated that doctrine that gives them the authority to act like they own your kid.
Right. But no one is standing here. No one is up in front of these groups saying, look at here. This is, you know what I mean? Like no one's putting the kibosh to this. I mean, other than Cheryl.
Well, but I mean, no. No, because I damn sure made a lot of waves when I went up to Maine, but
Well,
I'm not an attorney, so there's no respect by the judge. And
That's
that's
right.
the biggest problem is these judges forget where they started. You
But
know,
that's
they
because we're
forget
about
that in the morning they put their damn shoes on the same that we do, and they get up and they put their shirt on the same that we do, and they go and they work a job the same that we do. The difference is we're a lot more honest in our job than most of these judges that are set there to decide a case based on honesty, truth, and need.
and that's our job to find the violations. And I don't care. I'm gonna sue everything. Whatever sticks it, if it don't, it don't. I'm suing everything. Cause you
mm-hmm.
gonna know I've been there. Whether I win or lose, you gonna know I've been there. And you gonna think twice before you do it again. I don't care. I'm suing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Well, you know, I spoke to the DOJ on my case back some time ago, and they referred it over to the FBI to handle the in-state, you know, the violations at the state level. They turned it over to the FBI to investigate. And
Uh-oh.
they called
Oh, Lord.
sent
yo, yo,
the administrator of courts in our state. And it still didn't do no damn good.
yo,
Uh-huh.
That corrupt SOB still sits on his bench
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. You know, like where are court watchers for that? Where are court watchers for these
people.
judges? I mean, do you guys advocate? Is that something that you guys do also, Cheryl? Like, watch out for these judges and
Yeah.
their batting records and so on.
Let me tell
Like,
you. I'm gonna tell you. Here in Nashville, we don't be playing them. We don't be playing with them. We don't play with them. We got people that hits the ground and run. Look, I went into a courtroom with Miss Elizabeth. Her children, her grandchildren, is in was in was well, they're in DCS custody. They her grandchildren were being raped, beat, and starved, and the judge knew about it. The judge told the foster mother, I need you to sign these papers that you won't abuse these children anymore, and that you feed these children. Now, this is the judge. So the lady, she kept saying, I just want you to come to court with me. I just want you to come. So I said, okay. I went to the courtroom with her. I'm sitting in the courtroom. That's the judge that is everybody's favorite judge. So, okay, well, I'm sitting in the courtroom to hear what's going on. It was just me. And I sat in the courtroom. That attorney turned around and said, oh my God, who are you? Because the judge changed her every mean. She changed her demeanor. She listened to the attorney and his client, Elizabeth. That judge did a whole 360 right in front of their eyes, and they couldn't believe it. And then went down there to find out what was going on. But it gave Elizabeth, the attorney kept going to the school, and the school kept telling them they've been trying to reach DCS because what's going on with these kids. They was stealing food from the cafeteria, and he was putting it in his pocket. And when they asked him what was going on, he said he was trying to get some food so him and his sister have something to eat. They finally, Elizabeth called the police and had the police to go out there because the judge told her and him, don't nobody go to that school no more. Don't talk to nobody else. We'll take care of it. So that was a police call. The police went and did a welfare check and found out everything they needed to find out, opened up a criminal case and removed those children from that foster care. So you got to stay on your P's and Q's. When things don't seem right, that means it's not right. Start filing charges, start involving other entities. You got to do all of that to get your voice heard. That's how you talk for the voiceless. That's what you do.
Oh,
And now that case is in the DA's office. And we went to the DA's office and I told him, let me see what's going on. And he went and found that case. He said, I know that case is over here. I know it's over here. And he found that case. And it's sitting in a box with 20 other cases. Why is all these cases sitting out here? I'll come over here and work these cases for you.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, you can't let these people, you can't just vote them in and they're your friends until you get in there. And then when they get in there, they don't know you. No, because I'm coming knocking on doors real hard.
Mm-hmm. I believe that. I do believe that for facts. You know that there's a notice that our friend Malibu Dallas and the ADA put together that when CPS comes to your door, it's an actual notice that is to be either taped to your door, pinned to your door, or whatever, and it's legally binding, and it's for when CPS comes to your house. You don't speak to them, you don't contract with them, you don't allow them, whatever. You either tape it to the door, open the door, hand them this piece of paper, whatever. And what it does is it serves as first of all, they're refusing the contract with them. They're saying if they have nothing, if they don't have a warrant, if they don't have anything of those sorts, they're not to come in the home. They're not to leave. They're not even to be on the property. If they don't leave that property, then they're to be trespassed, given a written notice of trespass by the police department. So they're not welcome there. And then it goes forward and forward and forward. It's a pretty good piece of information. We'll get it to you if you would like, Cheryl, because that seems like a good thing that you guys can have a hold of too for part of your arsenal. Because you're right on the nose with don't let them in your house. Like that's what we preach too. Do not let these people. The second that doorway gets breached, your game is over.
It's over.
You might as well throw in the towel and give him your kid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty
people
much
have allegations all the time. Somebody got mad. They want to go call DCS and say you hit a child. What? And then here they come. No, you're not coming. You're not talking to my children. You're not doing anything because did nothing happen. They taking folks' kids because they work too much. You ain't never at home. My kids,
my first involvement with the state ever was actually when my mother died. I was 20. My oldest son was a year and a half old. And she had wrote a will that said that the house essentially goes to my son. Well, everyone understood that whoever had possession of my son had possession of my mother's house. So one family member called and said I beat him. The other one called and said I starved him. Another one called and said I raped him. Anything they could to try to find some way to get that state to remove my oldest son because they wanted my mama's house. I ended up selling her $200,000 house for like $15,000. I wanted rid of it. I didn't care if someone had $5 damn because I'd be darn sure that no one's going to mess with my kid over a will. But later, when I was married to the doctor and that created the first actual case, that worker approached me and says, well, you must be guilty of something because look at all this stuff in your history. These must be true. But all it was people, doing it out of spite, out of greed.
Yeah. They don't look at none of it. Because had they looked at that young lady court papers, they would have saw that she had cut. He didn't. But they didn't look at anything. They just grabbed his paperwork and took his word back there. And now she's sitting in jail awaiting to go to court to prove her innocence. And nobody cares. Nobody listen. Whoever the first one come down with their paperwork, that's the one we gonna work with. Well, she did. Nobody worked with.
Now I got a question for you, Cheryl. Cheryl, I got a question. So if you call it DHS, right? DHS? DCS? Okay. If DCS personnel come to the home with a signed document from the judge because they want to enter the home for whatever reason, should the person not allow them in?
Meet me at court. We'll figure out what it is you're looking for.
If the person comes to the house, the social worker, with paperwork saying that they're going to take this one child out of the house and they want to take the child out, what should that parent do?
I mean, I can't give legal advice because I don't know. I can't say
No,
that.
I'm giving you straight up. Straight up. They have paperwork signed by the judge. Let's say fraudulently signed the judge's name, but it's signed by the judge saying that they're coming to take that child. Should the parent let them come in and take the child, or fight the CPS personnel and say, you're not taking my child?
So my opinion and mine's alone will tell them, meet me in court. I will get my attorney and I'll see you then. Okay. I don't care who's signing what. You're not going to get my child unless we're going to go down in court and I'm going to have my attorney with me. Now, if you bring the police and they kick my door down to come and get my kid, ain't nothing else I can do. But if I have the right to walk out of my own door, get in my vehicle and meet you at court and see what's going on, then we'll have to do that with my attorney.
Well, the reason I'm asking this question, because I am the police. So I'm the one going to kick the door down. So my thing is that maybe this should be spread out and shared with police departments. Hello.
If you're the police and you come into my house with the DCS worker that you had something signed by the judge, I don't know if it's legit or not. I don't know anything. You just out of the blue came to my house and said you coming to get my kid again. I'm going to meet you down at the court. Let me get my attorney and let's figure out what's going on. Now, if you the police and you kick my door down and come in there and get my child, there's nothing I can do. But then I'm going to fight you in court.
Yeah, okay. That's a good thing. But I'm thinking,
well, and not only that, Herbert, a lot of times these judges will sign documents for the investigator to investigate, not to actually take the kid. But because a lot of states have it to where they need a judge's order to open and investigate the case. And these workers are using that as that is their authority to turn around and just walk in and take the kid, when technically they need a second order to do that. But the parents don't know that.
My first question was, if CPS comes with an order that they just want to come and make sure the kid is okay, signed by the judge, and I was asking Cheryl, would you let them in the house?
See, you didn't say if you came and they just wanted to make sure the child was okay.
Yeah, that was my first question. I had two questions. One was,
you just said, would you let them in? Would you just let them think in your head and why don't you take the child? But Cheryl, that's a really good point. This is a really good point that you brought up, because you're not a lawyer. You don't know what these paperworks are. You have no clue. So that's really an unfair advantage to show up at your house with a warrant, with some police officers and all this stuff, and say, hey, we're coming in. It's like a barrage of information that you should, in fact, be able to check yourself and make sure. So I like that, what you're saying. Like, no, let's go to the courthouse and we'll check this out. My kid's fine right here. There's no imminent danger. Let's go to the courthouse and see what the hell's going on.
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
How do you know?
But Cheryl, my first question was that the CPS person comes by themselves, or they could come with the police, and they just want to come and check on the door because the next door neighbor said they hear you beating the child all the time. So they have a court order just to check on that child. And I said, would you let them in? You said, no, we're going down to the court. That's what you said the first time.
That's right. Okay. And I'll say the second and the third and the fourth.
And then the second.
If they just come in and do a welfare check just to check on the child, I don't know why you here. So I'm gonna meet you downtown, and you
Okay.
can check on my child. You can do whatever you want to, but I'm not opening up my door for you.
Good. Then my second question was that they're going to come and take your child. And you also said, no, we're going to see you down in court. You're not taking my child.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
So now, with that said, I'm saying to you as an advocate, you should share this information with local police departments so they understand that, no, I'll take my child down to the court. I have a court order, but I'll take the child, so that you can alert the police department so they can tell the troops, the guys at the trenches, the officers on the ground, no, you're not breaking the door in. No, she's been duly served, that she has to show up at court.
Yeah. So I have
But you have to educate that to the police departments.
So I have a relationship with the chief of police here in Nashville, which I'm going to be doing a sit-down conversation about community safety. And that's going to be some of my questions.
There you go.
How do you operate with the Department of Children's Service? Because a lot of police don't get involved with that. They don't get involved. And it's always the guard ad litem and a DCS worker that just graduated from high school and in college, and they coming to be a DCS worker. Well, you can't be a worker and you don't know what's going on, because most of those workers, they done quit and they have a nervous breakdown because they done saw what's going on and what's happening with those children and family.
Right. But so a lot of those DCS workers call the police to say, could you accompany me to that house?
Of course, yeah.
Because they're the ones that are afraid of confrontation, so they want me to come to the house with them as a security guard.
Yeah. So you know, when you
it's an intimidation factor is more or less what they're doing it for.
Yeah. So when you have these ring bells now, and somebody ring my bell, I can be in Kentucky and you in Tennessee, and I'm gonna tell you on my bell I'm not at home. I'll meet you at court.
There's actually a video like that Darren showed one time where the person was not at home and they were on ring.
Yeah.
You remember that video, Darren?
Yeah.
Where the guy, he wasn't even home. He was on ring.
Right.
Yeah.
Always. I know, I saw that.
Yeah. So you could be home, but you could talk to your ring and say you're not home.
Period. Because again, I'll meet you downtown.
Right.
And I'm gonna bring my attorney. And
Right.
if my kid is at school and you come to the school to talk to my child automatically know I'm not talking to nobody. Give me my mama, give me my daddy, and give me my attorney.
Right.
Period. Cause let me tell you something. And I want you to hear exactly what I'm saying. And you said that you're a police officer.
I said what?
You a police officer?
What did you say?
Yes. You're a police officer. Yeah, he was a New York State cop. Yep.
Yeah.
But
I'm retired.
The police don't know nothing.
That's
don't,
right. You know.
They don't know absolutely nothing.
No, they don't.
They solve their case by you running your mouth. That's how they solve their case.
Right. The words that you come out with. That's right. Yep.
Right. But
They
that's
don't
the
know
truth.
nothing.
But that's the honest truth. That's why I'm still on this channel.
Yep.
So if I don't tell you nothing, you can't hold nothing against me.
That's
right.
right.
So if I close my mouth and let my attorney talk for me, and then we good.
Well, I'm going to give you a little heads up, Cheryl, that I told Melissa and Darren, so you know. Police officers have to read the Miranda to the person.
I know.
No. Not say it. They have to read it. They can't recite it.
But that's only if you're being arrested.
Yeah. If you're being arrested,
I'm going to show you the beginning of this.
Read. They can't recite it like you see in Hollywood movies. So if they recite it, whatever you say can't be held against you in court.
Check this video out, Cheryl. Watch this. I'm going to show you this right here. This is something. Watch this. This is pretty interesting. This will show you some of the involvement with some of these police departments. And these guys are relentless. And I want to see what you would think about if this was your situation here. Here we go.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. Are you Joseph?
I am, yes.
Okay, I understand you removed your kids from school without permission today?
Not without permission, no. It's
Okay, in violation of a court order?
No, in fact, the court order that's standing right now allows me to have my children every Wednesday and Thursday
Okay.
every other weekend.
Okay, so I'll just be straight up with you. We're here to remove the kids from your house, okay? We're going to sign an emergency order and take them out of your house, okay?
Did my lawyer contact you?
Nope, the lawyer did not contact us.
No, sir.
We're here to remove the children for safety reasons, okay?
When the OFP is dismissed, and my lawyer has made this explicitly clear, when the order for protection is dismissed, we revert back to the standing order, which is the divorce decree, which says every Wednesday and Thursday, Mr. Cross has his children. Every other Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Mr. Cross has his children.
Right. But if there's an additional court order saying something else.
But there isn't a court order. What's the court order? What's the court order right now that I'm violating?
The safety
There's a
plan
safety
that you
plan.
mentioned.
That's not a court order.
Well, the judge signed off on it, so it is
No,
a
no,
court
no.
order.
They didn't. Can you show me that?
He does have the documents.
Can you show me the court order?
So
The court order, not a safety. A safety plan is not a court order.
There's a court hearing which will be held on 29th of this month.
Right. So there's no court order in place
And there
preventing me from.
and there's a safety plan in place.
The safety plan is not a court order. And I told you very explicitly last Tuesday that I have worked with CPS. No. Let me finish. I told you very clearly last Tuesday when we spoke via Zoom with the social worker. I said I worked with CPS for 5 years. I have no problem working with CPS. I'm fine with doing the safety plan. I have a supervisor with me. You said okay, that's fine.
Okay, so at this point, Cheryl, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I love this man and I love for him to be on my team.
This man needs your help. Believe me, he needs your help. But what are you thinking about the way the police are coming at him right now?
Because the police don't have court order. They keep saying the judge signed the order. Then show me what the judge signed. They don't have anything.
Right.
They only
Right.
come to this man's house because of hearsay. Now, if they had a divorce, and like, what did I tell you? You always have to make sure your paperwork is in order before it get to anything. You can have the googly eyes, you can fall in love, you can be in love, but I promise you, one day that love is going to end. And now we don't like each other, we mad at each other, and you got to make sure you have your paperwork in order. This man knows what his rights are. The police and this caseworker that's with him, they don't. They don't understand it. This man said he worked for DCS for 5 years. So that means he know what he's saying. And if you don't have a court order, you're not getting my children. You're not coming in my house. But the first thing he did is people, you see how he left his front door unlocked, open, and they walked in. And so when he opened up his door, he wasn't expecting to see them already inside. So even if he tried to go back in his house, they going in there with him.
All right.
Keep
But let's keep the
what
door.
I want to say, Cheryl, is you're 120% correct. Police officers don't understand and don't know the ins and outs of CPS.
No, they don't know. They have no clue.
I didn't know. I'm telling you this because I've been a cop for over 30 years. And all I know is when I get called, I'm going someplace to prevent confrontation.
Your phone.
Of course, CPS is calling me to be an intimidator, to intimidate people because I have a uniform on. I get that. But why am I going? Just to make sure there's no fight that breaks out. But we're not told the story. We don't know what's going on.
What I said, they don't know. Just like
that's why you have to go down and meet with these police departments and chiefs and everybody else and explain the whole thing so they can pass it down to the office.
All right, let's watch this a little bit more here. Let's watch this.
We will have a supervisor with the children. I have a supervisor with the children.
Is that right?
Yeah.
A supervisor from CPS is with the children right now?
No, agreed upon supervisor. So when I let him know I'm going to have another adult with me, I gave him my mom and my sister's name first, and he said, okay, I'll contact them. Well, I didn't even get my children last week because she fled the state and took them to Florida. So then I said, all right, I'm going to do everything I can. I said, quote, I'm not in agreement with the safety plan. I haven't signed it. I'm not in agreement with it. However, because I want to work with you guys, I'm willing to still bend over backwards, even though the order for protection was dismissed. I've been falsely accused over and over again of abuse, but I'm still playing the game. I'm going to go along with it. I'm going to try to have someone here with my kids. Now it's for my own protection, just so that she's not pulling bullshit out of her ass again, and now I'm all of a sudden going to go to jail. So I want someone here all the time. I record everything. That's why I'm recording this. Everything I record.
We're recording too.
Absolutely.
So
that's fine.
I'm tired. My patience is zilch for this. And now I've got MPD here, who I consider trusted allies that are supposed to uphold the law, but they're telling me that we don't get involved in civil matters. That's what Edina was telling me yesterday. But now all of a sudden they're showing up to take my children away. When there's no order in place depriving me of my rights. I am not okay with this, Hirat. You have lied to me. You have told me nothing about this. No, it's my turn to talk.
Okay, sure.
You have told me nothing about this. I've talked with you over and over, crying, screaming for months now that my rights are being deprived. She runs off to the state. Did the police show up? Did you call the police in Florida and say that she's fled the state and we need to bring the children back? Probably didn't, did you? But you're bringing the cops over to my house here to take my children away. That's in the best interest of my children? How is that in the best interest of my children? Answer me that.
We were supposed to work together as a family. We have also filed a JIPS petition for this case. So
I'm well aware.
at this time, that's why we want to put the kids on hold.
This is still not, you haven't answered any of my questions. I don't know what this new allegation is. I haven't seen my children for over 4 months. How could I have put them in danger?
The allegation is a physical abuse
This is the one with Eden.
of Eden by her dad. And still, I haven't met with the kids since
That she went through
allegation has
Scott
been
County.
reported to CPS.
So she got everything was dismissed in Hennepin County. So what does she do? The day before I'm supposed to pick up the children, I'm supposed to pick the girls up last Wednesday. On Tuesday, she calls Scott County.
Okay.
Makes the new allegation. This is why I'm crying. Like, are you not connecting the dots?
Right. It's frustrating, and I can see your frustration. I see that. Okay.
Gosh.
Listen,
I don't know what else to do, and now you're gonna take my kids away. Like, I can't let you do that.
Mr. Cross. So me and my partner, we're here for your children. Me and my partner. Okay. Me and my partner are here in the best interest for the children.
Yes.
Obviously, you and your wife. You know, I'm sorry with everything that you've gone through with your ex-wife, with Jessica, but our best interest, me and my partners, for the children. Now, I'm glad that you have a supervisor in there, that you're abiding by that, but if I were you, sir, I'm going to be completely honest with you, okay? This is just me. If I was in your position, which I'm not, but I see your frustration, what I would do is just have the children go with CPS, okay? Hold on, let me finish, sir, okay? Because let's say the children stay here, she's gonna keep making those allegations, right? Oh man, they're at his house. He's probably doing this to them, and all of that's gonna happen.
I have someone here. That's why I have a supervisor, which I agreed to with CPS. The fact that you're doing this right now seems, at best, incompetent. At worst, criminal bias.
Okay, but let me finish, Mr. Cross. You didn't let me finish.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were doing this.
No, so Mr. Cross, wouldn't you rather be safe for them? Because they're going to go with CPS, child protection. You know what I mean? So they're going to be safe no matter what when they go with him. Okay?
Where are they going?
Because he's a professional. They're going to go with Jessica, I'm assuming. Okay?
That's not safe.
Okay.
Right? That is not safe.
So...
Is she injuring them in some way?
Emotional abuse, which I've been screaming for months.
Okay.
I just had my daughters tell me today that, they are feeling compelled to say things.
By who?
Who do you think? By
No,
their
who?
mother.
My mother?
By
Okay.
their mother.
What things are they being compelled to say?
Well, that's a long story. So the list of allegations is in the order for protection.
Okay.
How do I prove that I haven't done something? That's why I'm like, my buddy with MPD is like, can you have 24-hour surveillance at the house? I'm like, I would love to, but I don't have terabytes of storage to record 6 months of video footage. I mean, I'm doing everything I can. And I can't This is why I'm so irate now, because I've just sat back and hoped professionals would do their jobs before, and this is where it gets me. Now I'm screaming. I'm screaming. Abuse. Abuse. And that's why I told Harat, I said, please take my children out of this situation with their mother. I would rather they be with another family that's neutral. Put them with her.
That sounds great.
Put them with her father-in-law. I'm fine with that.
Let me also add this.
I mean, with my father-in-law, her dad.
You told us that you have been threatening and you have been patient for 4 months, right?
So still, we have these cops out there that they're insisting that they're taking
This is
the
the
kids.
first time I've seen my children in over 4 months, and you're showing up to take them away? No, I can't let you take my kids. The first time I've seen them.
Okay.
Do you guys have children?
How about this?
Do you have children?
Listen. Okay, we're here to do a job, okay, and it's going to be done today. It's only going to make things worse and more traumatic for them if it turns into some issue with you fighting and trying to resist and stop us. Okay?
But you have to have an order to take them.
We don't. We can sign an emergency order, and that's what we're here to do today. We can sign a police hold, and that's what we're doing. Okay?
On what basis?
On the basis that they're in danger. And so that's what we're going to do today.
So now we have this cop threatening, saying that, okay, we're going to do it this way. We're going to just go ahead and put this emergency hold on, and we're going to take your kids.
No, the police officer should keep his mouth shut. He has nothing to do with it. Actually, the parent should say, may I see your supervisor? See, the parent should have said, get your supervisor down here.
So the first thing he should do is sue that police officer standing right there in front of him.
No, that's the second or third thing he should do. In the immediate situation right now, he ain't suing nobody. In the immediate situation right now, he needs to tell the cop, basically, shut up. By doing that is by saying, I need to speak to your supervisor.
And the supervisor gonna come and say the same thing that the CPS worker is saying, that have no clue. They all gonna say the same thing because they feel that the CPS worker is the authority and has the right. And nobody produced no papers, nobody produced anything. All you did is came to my house and told me that you're gonna get my children because somebody said something.
Actually, you're right. I didn't see any paperwork being presented to that man, right?
And he said he don't have it. He kept saying that court order. Where's the court order paper?
Well, then if you don't have it, go get it. Let me see it.
If you don't have it, get off my porch and I'll meet you downtown.
There you go. Right. I agree with you. If you have nothing to show me, then I'm not giving you my kids.
Then guess what? And then I want you, once you get me downtown with my children to see ain't nothing going on, now I need you to find out. I need some paperwork to show that this could never, ever happen again. Because anytime she get pissed off, she gonna do what she wanna do. Now, just like he said, she was not allowed to take the children out of the state without permission, and she did it. Who went to Florida to serve her? Nobody. But you coming to my house to tell me that I got to give you my children because I took them out of school early to spend those 2 days with me. Right. Somebody better get off my porch.
Right.
That's it. And then see, this is the thing. And they just keep getting away with it. I'll just play another minute or two of this. We don't need to play the whole thing, but just check this where this goes here.
It's only going to make things more traumatic for them and damage them more.
You don't think this is going to be damaging for them right now to be taken out of this house?
I don't. Not as much as if they see us putting you in handcuffs. Do you agree with that?
I think we can all agree on that, right?
Yeah, that would be traumatic.
Yeah, absolutely.
More so than having to go to mom's house.
Yes.
Well, being taken by officers to their mother's house is going to be traumatic.
Well, we're not going to forcibly pull them out of the house. Obviously, we're not going to do that. You know that, okay?
I don't know that.
We're not going to put them in handcuffs and drag them out.
Yes.
We're just going to walk them outside. We're going to fill out some paperwork. You're going to get a copy of the paperwork.
They're not going to be okay with that. I mean, this is my children that are supposed to be expecting to stay the night with their dad. The first time they've seen their dad in 4 months.
Okay, so we're here.
I don't understand how anyone comes to me and says that this is in the best interest of the children. The children are not in harm.
Here's the other thing with that. We're out here standing in the porch, and we haven't even seen the children. You know what I mean? So how do we not know that they're not currently in danger right now?
They're in there being strung up and tortured.
No, I don't think
There's
that's what's
one of
happening.
my friend's mothers.
I don't think that's what's happening.
That's what you're insinuating.
No,
It's
not
about
at all.
torturing my
I'm
children
just-
behind a closed
No,
door.
that's
I don't, want
outlandish.
I don't want the children to see police officers at my front door, which my oldest already has, and I'm sure she's freaking out because she has high anxiety.
Okay.
This is not going to help. And the fact that the government is behind this, I have a real problem that two Minneapolis police officers who tell me they can't even respond to active shootings are now...
I didn't tell you we can't respond to active
His
shootings.
partner said that we don't even have enough police officers to respond to active shootings. But
Well,
now you're
We
willing
respond
to...
to active shootings.
Now you're willing to come to my house to take my children away for a civil matter. I know you guys know this. If you think about it and you connect the dots, I know you see what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Would like to be able to at least contact my lawyer.
Well, your lawyer's not going to change our mind. Okay.
So he does
Only a
this
judge.
now.
If your lawyer magically got hold of a judge and said, "Do not touch those children," that's the only way we're not taking them on. Okay.
So you're going against the standing order based on a CPS safety plan that has no jurisdiction over an order.
We're here to make sure the children are safe. Okay.
Do you want me to show them to you? I'm happy to put them in a lineup. And
We're
show
going
you
to
that
take the
there's no
children out
bruises
of the house.
That's the other thing. That's what I've been trying to say, that I want to see the children. But
I can show you the children, but you're telling me that you're going to take them anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
We are.
yeah, but I mean, it's like we're standing out here when we can. Obviously, they already saw us clearly, so it's like we do want to see the children. That's what we're getting at, okay? And you gotta abide by this safety plan.
I
And
have abided by it. Mr. Muse is the one who told me to have a supervisor. He said, okay, that's
okay,
fine.
well, where's the supervisor, sir?
Do you want me to bring her out?
Well, we
We're
don't.
going to go in if you go in, because we're going to have you go in and lock the door.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, because that
I'm
wouldn't be
looking to,
cool,
like-
right?
No.
Well, absolutely.
Listen, I'm a former Marine.
Mhm,
I served my country.
mhm.
I've never had an issue with the law. I've never
Exactly.
been in a physical confrontation.
Well, thank you for your service, sir. Like I said, we appreciate that and everything that you've done, and it's better, like you said, to remain law-abiding, right? I mean, right now we're here to
I've
do
never
a welfare
broken the law.
check. Okay,
It's
you're,
That's the lie.
I'm
He's not there
100%
doing a
fine.
welfare check. He's there to take their kids.
Right.
Because he gaslighting him. He lied 3-4 times standing
Yep.
right. I
Yep.
just want to see the kids. Well, we're gonna take the kids. Well, we're not gonna take you in handcuffs. What? No, you all gonna all get off my porch and leave me alone. His
Now-
first thing is when he opened up that door and came out. He will
Okay, now-
never be able to go to that house without them coming in and taking his.
So
All right,
okay,
then
so
if you
in that situation, then what you
This
talking
show,
about
police
is that you should-
police officers can lie. They're allowed to lie.
Yeah, I know.
We are
But
we are allowed to lie.
I know.
So are
And the bottom line
CPS
is,
officers.
They're coming in there to take that child or those children, and they'll say anything they gotta say to get them children.
Of course.
So if you don't, but wait a minute, Shell, what are you saying? If you don't come out of that door, you stand a better chance of keeping that separation between you? Is that what you're saying?
They could knock on my door till their fingers fall off. I'm not opening. I'm not at home. I don't care what you say. Now, whatever
That's right.
issues or problem we have, I'm going downtown
That's
again
right.
with
I
my.
agree with you. I agree with
And
you.
just like
And
that,
don't-
even if you get your attorney here, we still coming in to get them kids. And if you go in, we coming in with you because you will go in and lock the door. Well, he shouldn't have came outside no way.
No, he shouldn't have came out at all. He should have kept. But the thing is, he came out, but now he should not go back. Yeah, just stay there for the whole evening on the outside the door and let them run their mouth.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're very much making a break
already
now.
put-
They're
Wait.
they're
Yeah.
putting the pressure on this dude now. Like they're telling him they're going to arrest him. They're telling him that they're going in. They're telling him that they're there to take the kids. Clear intimidation. And where's the CPS worker? Standing behind the cops. He's not there doing his job. He's there
No.
sitting there laughing behind them and making these cops do this job.
But the
He gaslighting that man with a bunch of lies.
cop shouldn't open his mouth at all. He's only there to make sure everything goes smooth with CPS and the parent.
Well, the first thing that cop should have said is, I have to see your order from the judge before I can even go to that house.
Right.
That's a good point.
He ain't seen no order.
Nope.
He ain't seen no order. He just came to the house
Yep.
because the man said, "Come and go with me."
That's right. So he should have said, "Let me see the order." So when I go to the house, I understand what's going on. That officer doesn't know what's going on.
He don't. Just stay
Well, I mean, the cop may have actually met the worker at the house. But at the point of time, the parent says, "Hey, someone show me a valid wet ink signature from a judge." That cop should quit focusing on that parent, and he should be focusing on making sure this order is produced.
That's right.
Because he is there to keep the peace and
That's right.
serve the public,
and
not abuse and beat the public.
That's
and that caseworker he keeps saying that we have a parenting plan. A parenting plan and a court order are two different documents. A parenting plan don't wait. No wait.
No.
Right, that ain't worth the paper it's wrote on.
That's right. But he's lying too, because all he wants to do is get in there and grab them kids.
And then he said, "And we taking them to the mama." Well, I have the rights for my 2 days. So why are you doing this? Because you took them out of class. Well, when they with me, I'm responsible for whatever goes on with my children. I could do whatever, just like when they with her. But there again, that's because when we have our children, we automatically say that the woman have custody. If nobody have never gave you custody, you don't have custody. Now we're gonna be fighting. Now we got to figure out who have the custody and what's the rules in this custody battle. So let's get all of that established when we start having children, and then we won't have these issues.
I like it, Cheryl. I like it. That just makes all the sense in the world. Is precautionary measures to make sure that we don't have this. Have your paperwork in line, everything in order. So when these people do show up on your porch, you're like, see you later.
Everything.
Well, and honestly, this parent here, I mean, he has stood there and he's talked 15, 20 minutes, and they're all just talking circles. If I was in his shoe, when I stood there and I figured out that they were there to take my kids, the first thing I am going to do is be blowing my attorney's cell phone up. That motherfucker's going to answer. Because, I bet he can find a way to get a hold of that judge, even if it's after court hours.
But did you hear what that police said? He said the only way we're not going to take them kids, you can call your attorney if you want to. The only way we going to not take them kids is if your attorney called and talked to the judge and the judge called us and tell us to leave the kids at the house. That's the only way.
Right. And that's what I said is, I would be, well, it's kind of like I had a case that got dismissed, but it randomly appeared 8 months later. Okay. No. I called my attorney. My attorney was Johnny on the spot, calling the court, calling the DA's office, making sure that they all pull their head out of the ass and show that this wasn't supposed to be done that way.
First okay. All, this man that's in the green shirt, when he opened up his door, he DCFS out there with he should have had his car keys. He should have told whoever in that house to lock that door because I'm gone. You're not going to kick my door open because you don't have you're not going to go in my house because you don't have no paper. My car and I'm out of here. Can't arrest me because I have.
Are you kidding? That cop's stuck in dick mode. He'd turn around, chase him down, and say he was trying to outrun the cops.
Yeah, they're arresting him. But guys, we're Cheryl, you get on here. We didn't even get to what we were supposed to talk about today. We did what we were supposed to be doing, but we need some more of you. I know we know how to get it. We got to get in touch with you. We need a lot more of you, because you definitely bring. I've never even thought of that. Just Don't open the door. Don't give them that opportunity. Just, like that. That's nothing I've ever even thought of. Like I always confront them, tell them it's not happening, whatever. But I'll tell you the truth. Listen, 100% right here. We all can say whatever we want to say until you're in that position. You don't know what you're going to do. Because I always said the same thing. I always said, listen, no one's ever coming to my house to take my kid, but when they come 5 deep, and they're coming and they're taking them in force, and you take your kid and you're running off with them, and they're telling you they're going to get Amber Alerts, you change real quick. You never know what you're going to do in these situations. So it's really good idea to, even though you're not in these predicaments now, to think about it, to think about what you would do if you were in this situation, and to think about what you could do in this situation, like you're saying, Cheryl, to diffuse this. This is what we need to do and get this out to people, because you don't know until you're in this situation, because a lot of these people don't even know what CPS is until this is what it comes to for them. And then you have no chance in hell because you're already too late.
Guess what? Just like you cover your bank account, cover your kids' account. That means make sure you got all of their papers in order when you first have them. If you're going to be in your children's life, make sure you got your papers in order. Always.
Man, this was good. And I'm going to get in touch with you, or Cheryl. We need to have more of you for sure. Herbert, you have any last things to say for Cheryl before we cut this show tonight?
Again.
Well, we will talk to Cheryl again, no doubt. Melissa, do you have anything?
No, not really. Just everyone keep up a good fight.
Yeah, we all got to do it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tonight. This was great. This was a great show. Thank you, Cheryl, for being on here with us.
I do have one thing
it was
to say.
awesome.
Cheryl, I do have one thing to say, Darren. Cheryl, you need to really get down and meet with those police departments so you can explain to them all they're not being told by CPS.
I am. Okay. That was some good information, and I'm going to do that.
Yep.
Are you kidding? Give Cheryl a moment, and I bet you she will put together a anti-CPS training course for cops, and she will somehow get the district attorney to back having the police departments go study this thing.
Yeah.
Well, I know we got to go, but just one thing. I know we got to go, but one thing I got to say: with the police being so busy and so short-handed, when CPS calls them to accompany them, the police department should say, "Is there an emergency?" If it's not an emergency, then what the hell we need to go there for?
That's right.
You see?
They
they're gonna. Yeah, that's a whole argument anyway. All right, guys.
And Herbert, the other one quick thing on the way you should look at it. If it's a custody case between you and another parent and you call the cops to come out there to help with an exchange, 9 times out of 10, that cop's going to tell you it's a civil matter and he ain't even going to show up.
This is but
when the department calls them, it's the same thing, but yet they're Johnny on the spot to come bully you like you're nothing.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tonight. Cheryl, thank you for coming in. Herbert, thank you.
Okay.
And Melissa, thank you. And we'll see you guys all on the next round of this CPS Victims Hunting Justice. Thank you again, Cheryl. And as you can see, folks, there's more than one ways to skin a cat. I never thought about what Cheryl was saying with the police to be able to don't even come out the door. Hell with them. Stay behind there. Make them knock. It's good information. Do what you got to do. Keep your kids safe. CPS Punisher. I'm out of here.